Welcome to the 11th session of classification and prediction. In our earlier session, we have discussed what do you mean by classification accuracy and predictor error rate. So now in this particular session, we will discuss some methods to evaluate the accuracy of a classifier and predictor. This session covers our course outcome 6, that is to identify and apply the algorithm and technique of classification and its application, which covers 3 program outcomes of engineering, that is program outcome 1, apply the knowledge of mathematics, program outcome 5, select and apply appropriate techniques and modern engineering IT tools, program outcome 4, analyze the synthesis of the information to provide valid conclusion. So, the content for the session includes introduction, holdout method and random subsampling, cross validation, bootstrap, and followed by summary. Now, introduction. Here the question will discuss how can we use the different measures to obtain a reliable estimate of classifier accuracy or predicted accuracy in terms of error. So, here what are the different methods we are using to calculate the accuracy of the classifier and error rate in case of predictor. So, following are some techniques which can be used to find out the accuracy, that is randomly sampled partition of the given data, and the measures are or the methods are: one is holdout and random subsampling, cross validation, and bootstrap. So, holdout method and random subsampling. In this method, the given data are randomly partitioned into two independent sets, that is training set and test set. So, here in a data set the number of data tuples are there which are randomly partitioned into different independent subsets. So, where we do not have any intersection between that. So, some data tuples are partitioned as a training set and some are named as a test set. Typically, 2/3 of the data are allocated to the training set and remaining 1/3 is allocated to the test set. So, this is as per the rule: 2/3 of the data set can be taken as a training set and 1/3 of the data set can be taken as a test set. So, the training set is used to derive the model. As in our earlier session of the classification model, we have used the technique. One step is model creation, where the training set is used to derive the model or to make the model, here whose accuracy is estimated with the test set. Second step of the classification is use of the model. So, we have to check the particular model developed by our training set is perfectly working on testing set or not. So, we are checking the accuracy on the test set. Random subsampling is a variation of the holdout method in which the holdout method is repeated k times. So, here random subsampling is a method which can be having a which is a variation from the holdout method, where this particular technique can be taken out repeated k times to find out the accuracy. So, here the overall accuracy estimate is taken as the average of the accuracy obtained from each iteration. So, overall accuracy, suppose we are having 10 iteration. So, the accuracy of every iteration we are taking the average of that number of iterations. So, if 10 number of iterations are there, the accuracy will be added and divided by 10. So, the overall accuracy is estimated by the average of accuracy obtained from each iteration. Here this is a figure which can be taken from the book Hanen-Campbell, the source, and this figure represents estimating accuracy with the holdout method. You can able to see all the data set number of tuples are there in the data, and those can be divided into two types: training data and test data. Training data is useful for the derived model and test data is useful to estimate the accuracy. Here the derived model can be act upon the test data to find out the accuracy. Next technique is cross validation. Now, in cross validation, first we will discuss about k-fold cross validation. In this, the initial data are randomly partitioned into k mutually exclusive subset or folds. Now, suppose in our data set D, we are having number of data, n number of data. That n number of data tuples can be divided, mutually partitioned into k mutually exclusive subset. Suppose D1, D2, these are one partition of the data set up to dk. and each of is approximately equal size. So while dividing this data, so we have to take the thing that the data set contains the equal number of size. So here training and testing is performed on k times. So as we are having k number of partition, the training and testing can be performed k number of times. So that is in iteration I, so I stands for 1 to k. For iteration I, partition di is reserved at the test set and the remaining partitions are collectively used to train the model. For example, you are taking a first iteration. So in first iteration, I value stands 1. So d1 can be reserved as the test set upon which we can apply the accuracy classifier to check the accuracy. Then rest of the set, that is from d2 to dk, can be taken as a training set. So that's what it is written here. That is the in first iteration, subset d2 to dk collectively serves as a training set in order to obtain a first model which is tested on d1. In the second iteration, the training set can be of d1, d3 up to dk and tested on the set d2 and so on. So here in k-fold validation, every time one data set or one particular set can be reserved as a testing set. Rest all the data set or all the partition of the data set can be taken as the training set. So once by using the training set, we are making a classifier. You can use that classifier or apply that classifier on the particular testing set to find out the accuracy of that particular model. So like that, in k number of iteration, we can find out the accuracy and finally we can calculate the average accuracy. Cross validation continuing. Unlike the holdout and random subsampling method above, here each sample is used the same number of times for training and once for testing. So here every sample, whatever there in our data set, can be used similar time for training and as well as for testing. For classification, the accuracy estimate is the overall number of correct classification from the k iteration divided by the total number of tuples in the initial data. So here for classification, if we are using this particular method for classification, how we are going to calculate the accuracy? So the accuracy estimate is overall number of correct classification from the k iteration that we have taken divided by the total number of tuples in the initial data. For prediction, the error estimate can be computed as the total loss from the k iteration divided by the total number of initial tuples. So if it is used for prediction, the error estimate in prediction, we are calculating the error estimate. So that error estimate can be computed as the total loss, whatever the total loss. Already in the prediction accuracy, we have discussed different function to calculate different loss function to calculate the error rate. So here the total loss from the k iterations can be calculated and it is divided by the total number of initial tuples. It may be absolute error, root mean absolute error, square error. So these are the functions, different functions used for total loss in case of predictor. So k time, as we are having k folds, k time we have to calculate the error by using any of the loss function. Then finally you have to calculate the aggregate value, the average value of the error rate divided by dividing the error, summation of error with the total number of initial tuples. Now another methods involved in cross validation is leave one out. So what is this? Here it is a special case of k-fold cross validation where k is the set of number of initial tuples. So this leave one out is a special case for k-fold cross validation where k-fold cross validation, k is a set of number of initial tuples. That is, only one sample is left out at a time for the test set. So here we are taking one sample is left out at a time for the test sample and another samples are taken for the training sample. In stratified cross validation, the folds are stratified so that the class distribution of the tuple in each fold is approximately the same as that of initial data. So it is as per the stratified, like in our chapter 2 we have discussed about stratified sampling. here that the samples we are taking, it is using the stratified sampling. So here in stratified, cross validation is carried out one fold. The folds are stratified. We are using different strata, and every strata represents the number of tuples. So the stratified, so that the class distribution of the tuples in each fold is approximately the same that in the initial data. So here in general stratified, 10-fold cross validation is recommended for estimating the accuracy. Generally for stratified sampling, we are using 10-fold cross validation to recommend the accuracy, to find out the estimate or to estimate the accuracy of the classifier. The next method to evaluate the classifier accuracy and predictor error rate is bootstrap. Now, the bootstrap method samples the given training tuples uniformly with replacement. So, this terms is also comes from sampling. So, here bootstrap method uses sampling method training tuples uniformly with replacement, that you are taking a copy of the training tuple to make the classifier. That is, each time a tuple is selected, it is equally likely to be selected again and re-added in the training set. So, that is the concept of your the technique, that is the sampling with replacement technique. So, here in sampling with replacement, the machine is allowed to select the same tuple more than once, because with replacement we are taking the tuple, we are not deleting the tuple from the main set. We are taking a copy of the tuple. So, there is a equally likely chance that tuple will be selected again and re-added in the training set. That is why in this sampling with replacement, the machine is allowed to select the same tuple more than once. There are several bootstrap methods. A commonly used one bootstrap method is 0.632 bootstrap, which works as follows. Suppose we are given a data set of d tuples. Suppose in our data set we are having d number of tuples. The data set is sampled d times. So, the time every time the number of sample equal to that much of number of time we have sampled the data, with replacement resulting in bootstrap sample or training set of d samples. It is very likely that some of the original data tuples will occur more than once in this sample. So, here there is a chance some of the data tuple occurs more than once. The data tuples that did not make it into the training set end up forming the testing set. So, data tuples which is not involved in the training set can end by working with the forming a testing set. Suppose we are to try this out several times. Suppose this method we are trying for several times. Then as it turns out, an average of 63.2% of the original data tuple will end up in the bootstrap, and remaining 36.8% will form the testing set. As already it is written here, the data tuple that did not make it in a training set can be reserved for forming a testing set. So, that is why on an average, if you are using 63.2% of the original data tuple, then remaining 36.8% will be reserved for the testing set. That is why the name is 0.632 bootstrap. So, why it is 63.2% in the later slide we will discuss. The question is, where does the figure 63.2% come from? Here each tuple has a probability of 1 by d of being selected, as we have initially taken d number of data tuples are there. So, every tuple has a probability that 1 by d time it is being selected from that data set. So, the probability of not being chosen is 1 minus 1 by t, it is obvious. So, we have to select d times, so that the probability that tuple will not be chosen during whole time is 1 minus 1 by t, d to the power d. So, we have selected d times, because number of time, the number of tuple, that much of time we have to select it. So, the probability that the tuple will not be chosen is 1 minus 1 by d to the power d times. So, if d is a large, the probability approaches e to the power minus 1, the value is 0.368. So, the probability of not chosen value is 0.368. That is why 36.8% of the tuples will not be selected for training, and thereby end up in the test set. So, those who are not selected for the training purpose, we can say they are reserved for testing purpose. and the remaining if you are taking a whole data set 1, so remaining 63.2% will reserve as a training set. We can repeat the sampling procedure k times, so number of times is k, where in each iteration we use the current test set to obtain an accuracy estimate of the model obtained from the current bootstrap sample. So the overall accuracy of the model is then estimated as accuracy of m, that is summation of I is equal to 1 to k 0.632 into accuracy mi, that is test set, plus 0.368 into accuracy of mi training set. So here mi, accuracy of mi, m is a particular class, I is a particular sample, it is forming 0.632 into accuracy of test set, and 0.368 is a not being, it is a particular point where it is not selected as a training set, it is a testing set into accuracy of training set. So that can be calculated for summation of I is equal to 1 to k. So that is your accuracy for a particular class M, where accuracy of mi test set is the accuracy of the model obtained with bootstrap sample I when it is applied to the test set I. So here accuracy of mi test set, it is when the particular bootstrap sample I is applied on the test set I, and accuracy mi train set is accuracy of the model obtained with bootstrap sample I when it is applied to the original set of the data tuples. So the bootstrap method works well with the small data set. So among these three methods, this bootstrap method works well for the small data set. And now summary. In this session, we have discussed the methods such as holdout method, unrandom subsampling method, cross validation and bootstrap for estimating the accuracy of a classifier and predictor. So these are such methods where already we have designed how to make a classifier and what are the process in our earlier session, how to calculate the accuracy of the classifier in the earlier session. So here in this particular session, basically we have focused on how the holdout method, random subsampling, cross validation and bootstrap method are applied. These are the methods which are applied on the data set to calculate the or estimate the accuracy of a classifier or error rate for the predictor. So the use of such techniques to estimate the accuracy increase the overall computation time. So whenever these techniques are used, it can be, there is a chance it may increase the computational time, but yet it is very useful when we are choosing a model. So for model selection it is very useful. So with this we conclude this session, and as we have already seen from the previous two sessions, we are discussing about this classification accuracy, and here we have ended with the type of technique which are used to calculate the accuracy of classifier and error rate of predictor. And the next session will discuss how to increase the accuracy of the classifier. So with this I conclude this session. Thank you.